Okay, what's up? I'm a review Evil Dead 2. I just watched it recently, the second movie in the trilogy. It's funny to call it a trilogy because it was not at all planned as being a trilogy. It's a bit arbitrary. They could have made another movie. It's one of those things. They made the first movie 6 years later. I think because nothing else was succeeding for Sam Raimi, he needed to make a movie, and Evil Dead 2 was like maybe his only option, the only thing that he could get up and running. And then 6 years later, he happened to make. I don't think he intended that either. So it's kind of funny. Even the Dark Knight trilogy by Christopher Nolan, that wasn't intended. But I guess he wrapped it up a bit more consciously. Anyway, so Evil Dead 2 is much bigger, has a much bigger budget than the first one, and it's more of a comedy. If you haven't seen it, if you like horrors, I highly recommend it. It's a really interesting and unique movie. I wouldn't call it that scary. It's much more tongue in cheek even than the first one. The comedy's more obvious, even though the first one had funny sound effects and little things about it. This one, it's much more obvious. There's a lot of over the top, like a lot of gags, a lot of slapstick. So yeah, like I'm trying to give a summary in case you just want to see the overall. It's very wacky, very silly, quite funny. It depends on your sense of humor. It's very fast paced and kind of zany and doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Yeah, but if that appeals to you, and over the top violence, not too disturbing again because it's not too serious, but it's kind of like, oh my god, it's like crazy things that you see, then you'll enjoy it. So yeah, any horror film nerds or even people that like comedies and don't mind a bit of violence, I recommend it. Let's see, what are some things I can talk about? It's a kind of a remake of the first one in a way. The first part kind of summarizes the first one much more quickly. I think the story makes a little bit more sense. I like there's a part where he's playing the piano. It's really nice music. I like that. Let's see. I didn't like it as much as I think I did a long time ago. Back then I really liked it. I still like it a lot. It's kind of like a cult classic movie where it's like, it's not a great film at all, but it's so fun and stupid and creative that you enjoy it and there's nothing to hold against it. I really like some of the gags. The jokes are hilarious when he has to cut off his own hand and then cover it with like a bucket or whatever and put books on it, and it's a farewell to arms on top. That's hilarious. The way the monsters sort of mock him, like his dead girlfriend is like dancing and takes off her head, and that's kind of creepy but kind of funny as well. The way they're messing around and the head falling on him and biting his hand, and just knowing that Bruce Campbell is jumping around and running, he's just completely, there's nothing there. It's just all him. I like that kind of stuff where someone's hand becomes possessed and it's just their acting. It's kind of impressive because you just forget they're acting and you just see the hand's possessed. But I was very aware of it and just found it so hysterically ironic just seeing this guy act. And yeah, I think Bruce Campbell is very funny and enjoyable in the movie. He goes completely over the top, really commits to it. It's very fun. And again, the directing is really creative. I much prefer movies that just go into it and just have fun random moments. Don't try to have exposition and structure. Just don't need any of that. It doesn't waste any time with that. That's something I really like about it. Yeah, you get some really weird camera angles like you wouldn't have seen before, like just certain types of shots and things that are exciting as a wannabe filmmaker, that makes it feel like, oh, you could do that. Oh, that's a nice idea. Or you could take that a bit further. Or that's a way to make what would otherwise be a really simple little plot point or just part of the story more exciting and unique. I think it's very cool the way he attaches the chainsaw and then it clips. It's like attached here, so he could just pull it out to start it, and then he just says groovy. It's hilarious that on the cover of the DVD, or one of them, I think it's got a Bruce Campbell quote, something like it's a really great film. It's the best movie of all time. It's hilarious that they actually use a Bruce Campbell quote to promote the movie. I find that hilarious. I'll just tell you random parts I like. I really like the part where he's down in the cellar. Also, because they didn't. What happens? Oh yeah, yeah. Petrified. He's dealing with these monsters, and then someone knocks at the door. He shoots a shotgun, accidentally sort of shoots one of these other people, human beings that come. and then they come in and basically attack him, and he's already been through hell, and now he's getting beaten up by them, and then eventually ends up locked down in the cellar. And then they play more of the tape, and it says, "Oh, I had to kill, my wife went crazy, and I had to kill her, and then she's buried underneath in the cellar or something." And he realizes and looks, and then the head pops out, and he's locked in the cellar with her. And he's like, "Get me out, get me out!" I thought that was funny. I think that was actually played by Sam Raimi's brother, Ted Raimi, that weird mother or grandmother, evil person. I don't know if there's a lot else to say other than it's fast paced. It keeps things moving. I like the part where they jump on the head of that thing and the eye pops out and flies through the air and then into the woman's mouth. Like it's just something that's so over the top. It's kind of like changing between horrific or like a sudden jump scare to like stupid or crazy and then hilarious. Yeah, I like that. I also want to say with like the creepiness of it, I feel like it's quite unique. I think there's so many different horror movies and cliches, but this has there's not that many movies where the evil laughs a lot and torments its victims in the way that this does, or where there's an ambiguity of the intention, is it, and how powerful the bad guys are. It seems like it's just kind of random. And that's what the movie's like as well, but it works, again, because it's not serious. So you never know if someone's actually now possessed, if they're going to turn back to their normal person and be like, "Oh, don't hurt me, and then go back to the evil. A little bit like The Exorcist, like the way she's actually just a 12-year-old girl. So it's kind of crazy that she's possessed and acting evil. If she turned back to the girl, you'd feel like, oh my god, what? We need to save her. What are we doing? We need to just, But then it's the bad guys playing with you. So I don't think the other actors are that great, but I don't think they need to be. I don't think the acting's that significant. What's significant is the directing, the style of it. Like I said, how fast paced it is. It doesn't really get boring. There's always something else that happens. And the tone of it also, like I said, is unique. The type of scares and monsters that you see, that's actually something I really like, is all the like makeup and special effects. Even though they might not be that amazing, they're creative and they're effective. You see some really weird things that I don't think you're going to see in any other movie. But it's something that you're also going to feel. Some people will love this movie. Like I'm more on that end of I really enjoy it. And some people are going to hate it, like just hate it. It's not their type of sense of humor at all. They don't see the point. It's completely pointless. It's a completely pointless movie, but it's purely for fun and enjoyment. Again, something I really like is the evil itself, the way it's moving around, and it seems to have absolute power. It's not clear what it actually is. It's kind of cool. The climax of the movie is quite epic with the big head evil coming in and trying to grab, and that's kind of exciting and cool. I feel like there's a couple of plot holes where they could have done things a bit better, but it's silly to complain about that in a movie like this. I don't think there's much else to say. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling on. I think I've said, everything I need to say. It's really good. I really enjoy it. Yeah, I highly recommend it. Maybe the only other thing I'll say is just that's what makes it good, is the energy and the originality in terms of the style and the concept, and like just going all the way with it. It's kind of like if a little kid was excitedly telling you something, a story, it'd be more entertaining than if someone older who really understood it was just taking forever to tell you. That's what it's like. It's like a young filmmaker. It doesn't have like a great story to tell, but tells it in such a fun, fresh kind of way that puts it way above most movies in terms of that energy and excitement. So anyway, I'll leave it there. That's the Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 Dead by Dawn. Okay, bye.